So next, from downtown Indianapolis, always on her bicycle, Cassie Stockamp. Hit it!
Okay, wow, that's fun. Everybody should have an opportunity to try that once. And I'm gonna ask permission to screw up, because I'm really nervous, but I did find 2 pennies out there, and I normally think when I find a penny, it's grandma, so, okay, thank you. Okay, I don't know why I'm so nervous, but I am. I'm Cassie, and when I originally thought about this, I thought I was gonna share with you my business failure. Some painful experiences that I went through, really challenging moments, and ultimately I really did experience a tremendous amount of gratitude. But this is Walk the Talk, and I realized that what I wanted to share with you was something that you could take home, something that you could practice on your own, something that's had a profound impact on me. And through this thing that I want to share with you, it actually had very much a business-like process. The first truly is what I call the startup phase. And then there was a growth stage. And then there is what I call the neurological transformation. Not very business-like. Now you're probably wondering, well, what is this silver bullet? What is it that I can do that can change my life? Well, simply this. Back on February 7th of 2015, I started a daily gratitude practice. And it was at the time that I was reviewing my daily spiritual practices, and something was missing. Something was amiss. And then I started to see information and all about the importance of gratitude in my life from blogs and TED Talks and magazine articles and newspapers and movies and everywhere. In fact, in preparation for this talk, I Googled books on gratitude, and a staggering 59,200,000 references to books that had the word gratitude in the title. And so when stuff starts to come at me from a variety of different ways, I start to pay attention. And I became committed that this was something I needed to do, something that was important, and so I committed. And in that startup phase, though, I had to figure out, well, what's this gonna look like? What's a daily gratitude practice look like? I knew that I could get up in the morning and make a mental checklist of all the stuff that I was grateful for. I knew that I could do some kind of a digital diary. I knew that I could do some kind of a physical journal, but somehow all of those seemed to be lacking. And I'm kind of embarrassed to admit, but typically I always have a phone or my iPad is close. And so I settled on a daily gratitude blog. And on February 7th of 2015, some of you will remember, it was 3 below zero. It was flippin' cold out. And I remember looking outside that window and my garbage was picked up. And I felt incredible gratitude. And it reminded me of a trip to India where I remember going across the countryside, and much of it was covered in trash and debris. And I learned that they don't have the same kind of public service contracts that we hear. And I remember feeling that same kind of gratitude for what we had here. And so my very first blog post simply read, 365 Days of Gratitude, Day 1. I'm grateful for civil service workers, for those men and women that pick up my trash and my recycling, for those that repair the potholes in the streets and fix the broken water mains, for policemen and women and firemen and women that put their lives on the line every day to keep us safe, for mayors that prioritize bike lanes, for neighborhood liaisons that attempt to keep the neighborhoods vibrant, for engineers that try to keep our bridges sound, and for all the other civil service workers that I don't even know about. That was my first blog post. And as we continued down this path, during that startup phase, I would lay in bed at night and have to go chronologically through my day to find those things that I noticed that brought me joy, or that I was grateful for. And I'd pick 1 or 2 of them, and I'd write about one of them. I'd grab that phone, and I'd write about them. And then over time, as I kind of went into that growth stage, there were times I remember reaching for that nightlight and going to turn off the light, and something was wrong. Something was amiss. And I realized I hadn't done my daily gratitude blog. It truly was becoming a habit. And my blog post on August 30th, 2015 simply read, 365 days of gratitude, day 199. I'm grateful for perfect timing, for getting out of a meeting just in time to cross paths with 2 Buddhist monks, for getting out late at another meeting just in time to cross paths with a city councilman that I needed to give information to, and for all the other synchronicities that I had yet to notice. And I included a quote from Steve Maraboli that said, when you stop existing and truly start living, every moment of every day is filled with wonder and synchronicity. And I ended it with, here's till tomorrow and being present. And then I noticed something else. I noticed things that started to make me smile. I noticed the wind on my face when I was riding my bike. I noticed the kindness of my staff to a patron. I started to think, oh, I can write about that. I can write about that. I started to notice that there was moments of gratitude all around me, all the time. I didn't have to go through that chronological daily events to find something to write about. They were all around me, everywhere. And in this growth process, I goofed. It was day 342. I wrote it down as day 324, and I didn't catch it until day 388. Yeah, I was flummoxed. I had only meant to do it for 365 days, right? I was going to do this final blog post and, wrap it all up in a tidy little bow, and I remember stewing on it for a couple of hours, and I took it as a sign that I was supposed to continue on. And so I started having even more fun with it. And I included some crazy pictures. So I just started having fun with it. And then I noticed something else. I noticed that I was different. And this is what I call the neurological transformation. And of course, I don't have any proof. But what I have is proof of how I felt and how I've changed. In those moments of frustration or anger, I was able to take that breath and to come back to center. In those times where I had those spiraling vortex of rabbit hole thoughts, how you just start to think the same thing over and over again, I was able to take that metaphorical step and observe that thought and come back to being center. And what I realized had happened by coming into the present moment over and over again over this last course of a year, that became a mindfulness practice, and I literally had started laying down new neural pathways. I had rewired my brain, literally rewired my brain. I know some people are really skeptical of this daily gratitude practice. They think that it whitewashes the pain and suffering of the world away, that I'm looking through rose-colored glasses. But that hasn't been my experience. In fact, I think that it's made me much more aware of the pain and suffering. And it's actually pushed me into action. I know that I get incredibly incensed when I find that a rapist has been given a mere 6-month sentence for a heinous crime. That AK-47s are still flippin' legal, and they can kill 49 people in Orlando. So this gratitude practice isn't for me, it's not an either or, it's an and. I can see the pain and suffering. I can be moved to action. And I can still see the beauty around me, everywhere. Yeah. And that's what I really wanted to share with you tonight, was this daily gratitude practice that it's changed me. But there is just one more thing. Some of you are thinking, I don't have the time, I don't have the discipline to do a daily gratitude practice, and I'm German, and I have an overabundance of discipline, so I get it, that not everybody's wired like I am, and that's okay. Don't want you to all be wired like I am. It'd be a bad world. Bad world. Instead, I want to give you one question. One simple question, that if you find yourself in those moments of frustration or anger or whatever the emotion, if you can just maybe close your eyes and ask, what's my lesson? What's my lesson? I'm confident that with time, honesty, and introspection, that you will find something that you can be grateful about. Soren Kierkegaard said, life can only be understood looking backward, but must be lived forward. this daily gratitude practice, it's rewired my brain, and it can rewire yours. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you, thank you. Thanks for your gratitude. Let's hear it for Cassie, guys. Thank you, thank you. Wow, wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, wow, okay.